So go ahead and close your eyes and just allow yourself to arrive in this time, in this place, in this moment. And no matter where you are, just be here. Just be here. Take advantage of this time that we're together. And when women come together, we can move literally a mountain when we have community, collaboration. So start to take some long, deep breaths. I know that you're driving, Kathleen, so it's okay. Just you could do some breathing, but don't go into a meditative state. Find the intimacy of your breath. Like get intimate with your breathing. And as you inhale, I want you to imagine that the belly is expanding and opening. And as the belly expands and opens, as if the entire body is expanding and opening. And I want you to bring your palms up in mudra to receive whatever it is you need to receive in this moment. And it will be something. And as you exhale, I want you to imagine that you're letting go. And you don't even need to think about what you're letting go of. It will just automatically happen. And feel your feet, whether you can feel them on the ground or you wiggle them a bit, just anchor into the body. So important for women to anchor into the body, and we're not just breathing and meditating from your head. So feel in your body as well. So wiggling your feet, maybe moving your shoulders a little bit becomes this gorgeous meditation in motion. And just a tiny little smile can really shift the frequency in the body to bring in some joy. As you inhale, bringing in beautiful new energy, life force, vitality, ease, freedom. And as you let go with the exhale, you release the extraneous, the stress, the worry, the fear, whatever you might be holding on to, just let it go. And I want you to imagine, even if the feet are not planted on the ground, I want you to imagine that you have roots growing down into the earth. You're being held by the earth, that's groundedness in the earth. And imagine at the top of the head, the crown is opening up to the vast, vast sky, the never-ending sky. Enjoying your own breath. And as your thoughts come in, just let them go off into a faraway land for a moment. You're not asking your thoughts to stop, you're just letting them go. Right? And how do we let them go? We let them go through the breath, because the breath is what calms the mind. And let's inhale together and retain your breath. Inhale. Inhale more. Hold it. And softly exhale out of your lips. Relax the jaw and your eyes. And again, inhale fully. And exhale. And just take a moment to meditate here. Allow the breath to just be totally effortless and gentle and relaxed. And then go ahead and open your eyes and come back here. All right. Hang on one second here, Sam. All right, Sam. I just texted you something, so just so we can, yeah. We're not in the same room, but Sam and I worked together many, many times, which is so beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so grateful to be with you, Sam, and all of you. Thank you for coming today. Sam, I'll let you just start the conversation and then Sam and I will be sort of going back and forth. We'll probably be on for another maybe 25 minutes or so. And then we'll have some interactive talk. It'll just be really beautiful, just time together. We're going to try to do this monthly. So you're more than welcome to come, be part of something really beautiful. And like I said earlier, the circle's a teacher, so we all have wisdom and we learn from one another. Uh, and we can move mountains together. So, if you have an intention, maybe we start with an intention, Sam. Like if you have an intention coming into this circle, if you wanted to voice what that is, if you don't need to. That just in just a few words, what would that be? Like your
Mhm.
intention today?
Mhm. And
Anyone?
I think that's
Yeah,
a great place to start because I think
yeah.
just to give a framework for what we were thinking of. Gina and I, obviously, we've done circles before. We've been connected when we were in Savannah. And now we're on opposite sides of the country, but we wanted to continue to have that impact and continue to have a space for women in all of our circles to come together to have a moment to pause and to have a place to connect and set our intentions for the month ahead. So we just entered into like Leo season from Cancer season. So we wanted to use this as an opportunity to bring everybody together. So keeping that in mind with everybody that is here or anybody that watches the recording, if you want to add comments in later when we post it or write down your intention or share it in outwardly, we'd love to hear it.
Anybody want to share?
I will share that I would like to rise above my circling thoughts and mirroring emotions and
Mm,
get to that blue sky a little bit more often, a little more readily. So this comes at a good time for me.
I love that.
beautiful. Thanks, Palace.
Anyone else?
And if not, maybe it'll come up later, and it's fine.
I think for me, my one of my intentions that I've been working on, and I kind of set it for myself starting yesterday. I was like, okay, I'm starting a 30-day just the highest vibration, and shifting my thoughts and mindset. So one of the things that I'll touch on a little bit later, but just like shifting the perspective of a problem and how can I focus on the desire, not to say that the problems don't exist, but how can I pivot my thought process, um, to stay more positive, even though there are challenges, and how can I lock in and into that faith, that things are working out for the highest good, even when it seems challenging.
Beautiful.
Mine is I've just been feeling lately that I'm being called to slow down, to spend more time in stillness, but also have that trust that, where it's like everything is ramping up, even though I'm becoming more still.
Mm, love it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Sometimes we forget that the still point is like you're going to make a lot more progress if you take that minute to be still versus just continuing to move and create momentum down a path that could be actually creating more resistance.
Yeah. It's so interesting. I feel like I have so much stillness, but just being called to more.
Mm.
I'm sure to create something.
Kathleen, thank you for coming on.
Yes, yes. I parked under. I'm gonna go into the gym,
Mhm.
and I managed to find a spot that had some shade. But I love all of those, and I resonate with all of all of those things that you said. I would say for me right now is to let myself be there and not make myself small in certain company, in certain
Mhm.
situations. I want to just, and I feel it. I feel like there's a shift already, and I just want to, not that I want to be big, the biggest person in the room, but I want to own who I am and my own power. So,
Mhm. Beautiful. Holding all of those beautiful intentions, oh my God, in my heart, big time. Um, wow. Mine's not quite there yet.
hmm.
Yeah, it'll come. It'll come.
Amazing.
Good. Love it. Sam, do you want to start the conversation then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, I can start with, I think the thing that was coming through for me. So when Gina and I had first started talking about doing a conversation and having an open discussion, faith came up for us about having that faith. What does faith mean for us, or what does that look like? And giving different tools or having conversations around how we can bring ourselves back to that inner peace. Because what we create inside when we have peace within us turns into peace that we've created with outside of us as well. So what we want to create in our reality, like we were just talking about with stillness, is first coming within and kind of reconnecting with what that looks like. And I know for me, the past couple of months before, coming down here, trying to figure out logistics of moving and trying to handle all of those pieces, there was a lot of releasing and letting go. Like I put all of my stuff in storage. I had to turn over my foster dog for a while. I let go of a place that I really have called home for 13 years in Savannah. And I think there was a lot of pieces of me that I didn't realize there was a grieving process. And so I was very excited about coming down here. And then when I got down here, I'm like, wait, my friends aren't
Mhm.
here. Like, I can't call up somebody if something happens. I'm like leaving all these things. I'm like, whoa, like there was a grieving process, even though I have this, everything is so beautiful outside. I can walk 6 minutes down to the beach and it is amazing and everything's okay. There's still a process of recognizing that and acknowledging that. And two things can be true. We can be very grateful to be where we're at and still recognize that there's pieces of us that we're leaving behind. And we have to do that in a lot of ways. And through that, sometimes we can get hyper focused on certain areas. I mentioned the video that came up for me yesterday. It came across, I think, a YouTube feed or something. And it really shifted my perspective because before that, I was like, okay, I really feel a need to just hyper focus on what do I actually desire? What do I want my life to look like? Because I got so caught up in the doing that I forgot to pause and actually sit still for a moment and be like, what do I want that next part of my life to look like? What do I want this chapter to be? Because I know that this chapter is brand new and it's happening. So in my part of co-creating this reality, what do I want that to look like? And I recognized over the past week or so that every time I sat down to do it, I was like, oh man, I forgot to do this thing. And then I would go back over here and I would do something else. And I was like, Sam, you never wrote down what you want your reality to look like. So how do you know what you're building towards? So I did that yesterday and this video popped up and he was talking about how when you're looking at a problem becomes a hyper fixation. Then you're looking at what you don't have, you're looking at the lack of something. If it's money that you're looking for or a relationship or a job or something that is not there, you're like, okay, I have a problem, there's an absence of something. But what if we change that and instead we shift the wording around it, or you shift your mindset so it's not a problem, it's a seed to let you know that there is a solution and your destination that you want is still there. It is there. Like now that you have a problem, you know that there's a solution because for every reaction, there's an equal and opposite to that, right? Of energy, that's an energetic law. There's an equal and opposite to that. So if there's a lack of something that thing exists somewhere else. That desire that you have is in your heart for a reason. And that really did something for me mentally of like, okay, let me write down all of the things that I'm constantly going through, that mental loop of I don't have this thing, or I'm struggling with this because I don't have this thing, or I forgot to do this thing, and it's creating a list of problems. But if you're hyper fixating on those, you're just creating more problems and you're giving them more power. But if you're like, okay, cool, here's the list of seeds that have been planted. So every time a problem comes up in your head, you switch that up and it's like another seed's been planted. What desire or outcome is attached to that? Now let me focus on that desire. So it doesn't mean that you automatically have it. It just takes away the power from it being a problem and it gives power to the solution. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes
Um,
great sense.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that was a huge mindset shift for me. And for me, going back to the topic of inner peace, it brought me peace to know that, okay, this is like, I can have faith in the fact that a solution exists because this problem is here. And it took the power away from the negative side and it gave it to the positive side for it. It gave power to the solution for me to be able to recognize that. So it gave me a sense of inner peace and almost relaxed my nervous system to be like, okay, I might not know what it feels like to have this solution in my hands, to have this $1 million in my hands, or whatever it is that you're trying to manifest. And a lot of times we try to have these huge goals and then we just see a bunch of problems as to why we can't have those things versus it being like, okay, I've got this huge thing. Here's these seeds that have been planted and the reality of the situation is changing and it's shifting. It's just taking time to grow. And then I took that a step further and it's like, okay, well, if I look at all these seeds that have planted, let me look at what I did today and or opportunities that came into me today. Is that leading me closer to um, is it watering the seed that was planted, or is it making it bloom, or is it getting me closer to the solution? So for me, that gave me inner peace and gave my like need for perfectionism and need to see progress on something tangible to hold. And it gave me inner peace. So at the end of the day, now for the next 30 days, I'm looking at my seeds that were planted and okay, did something bloom? Did something push me closer to my desire? Or if opportunities are coming up, I now almost have something that I can weigh it against of like, okay, that's planting a different seed over here, or this is actually moving me towards the direction that I want to go as far as a solution or potential um, outcome that is desired. So it allows you to focus on it, not to say that your problems don't exist, but they're not in the driver's seat anymore. It's taking that power away from it.
Mhm. Beautiful. And that's where I come in because when we like that, and then there's the practice, right? And where Sam just went, it's now how do we embody it? How do we begin to surrender it? So like go into for me complete surrender. And I know a lot of you are on the same wavelength as Sam and I, that we can let go. Bring your hands here, bring your hands to your heart in prayer. right? We can have these desires and we can let go and know that we can surrender completely through practice. So hands here, inhale, draw your arms up, like simply bring them up, all the way up. Hands in prayer overhead, and then exhale, draw the hands down to the chest, right? And just be really present with this. And inhale, lift the arms up. You can close your eyes if you want. Draw them up, 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 and draw the hands over the head in prayer. And exhale, draw the hands very slowly to your heart space. And through every exhale, we are letting go of control. How is it going to happen? Inhale, bring those arms up, lengthen them up, knowing that God has the ultimate power. Exhale, draw the hands to the heart. Really feel the prayer, feel it in the body. Feel those arms. Now bring those arms up like you have big wings. Draw those arms up. Spread the fingers. And then hands again over prayer, devotion to God, to yourself. Exhale, bring the hands down. As Sam said, as we plant those seeds, we can surrender. We have faith and allow. Inhale the timing all the way up. Draw the arms up. And exhale, bring the hands to the heart. And again, now big wings, just imagining you have these big, beautiful wings, really moving the arms up, embodying intention, bringing it into the heart, softening, dropping your shoulders, release your jaw, rest your shoulders down. And just stay here and meditate here for just a moment. And just notice as you let go, as you become silent, as you rest, be still and know that I am, meaning God. Be still and know that I am, I am. Beautiful. And just go ahead and open your eyes. And I just want to acknowledge, obviously, you, Sam, is so beautiful what you speak. Yeah, and it really landed for me as well. And Kathleen, just not playing small, like I heard that, like, and I held that, like, no, there's no reason for you to play small. Like this is the time
Mhm.
right now. We're in Leo season. We are at the cusp of something great. We are at the cusp of literally a new identity. And I'm not even kidding you. Whatever that looks like for you, it is a new identity. Period on the end. You bring that shit with you, you're going for another year with it. Be done. And I know I'm coming into a new identity fully. And don't be afraid of that because we have the king, period on the end, watching and holding it for each one of you. I heard you, Chelsea. tell me that you're looking for more stillness. That is where the answers will come. You know this.
Mhm.
You know this. Palace, that the swirling in the mind, that the vast sky, that you want to be that vast, open, and free. It's always available. It's how do we get there? Through the practice, through embodiment, especially for women. We need to move our bodies. We need to anchor it in and make these intentions. My intention is, it's so funny because you guys are gonna laugh. I'm literally calling myself Gina Marie Menino, my mother's maiden name. That's where I'm at. I'm taking in, and no one knows that. You know it. Doesn't that sound amazing? Gina Marie Menino. How Italian is that? I'm like, you know what? I'm not in the mood for Slager, my married name. I'm in the mood for Gina Marie Menino. And what does Gina Marie Menino mean? Right? What does that mean in this new identity? And you don't have to change your name. It's just what I'm doing for play. And I'm writing and it looks really cool. God, I'm like this Italian friggin' princess. I'm like with a name like Slager, Gina Slager, that doesn't go, does it? God bless my husband, but for now. When I think of that, I think of my strength, my courage, and I think of my endurance to do it. Because I have endurance because I have God in my corner.
Mhm. Well, and I think what you just said there, it made me think of a conversation I had a couple weeks ago where I was like, I'm tired. I'm tired of being resilient all the time and having to be resilient. And the friend that I
Yes.
was talking to said, well, what do
Yes.
you want to be instead? And I was like, wait a second. You get to decide. Like you get to decide what your identity is. And
That's
for
right.
me, I work with human design as the thing that I really love to use to help people to guide them back to the way that they were made. I use human design and holistic coaching and understanding your body and having acceptance for the way that we were made, whether that's through being a woman with our cycles and tapping into that natural talent or our desires and our design, and we forget our power all the time, and then we put words on it like I have to be resilient all the time, and yes, that's a great thing to be resilient, but at the same time it feels very tiring, and I don't want that to be my identity anymore. I don't want to have to be resilient.
That's right.
So I replaced it with the word free is what came up. I want to be free. I want to be at peace, relaxed, and how can I do that? So all of these practices of coming back into the body, and like I've been seeing a nervous system chiropractor for, I'm seeing her twice a week right now to get kind of reset. What does your body need, and having that conversation? Because for me, the way that with dealing with mold toxicity recently and having kind of a trickle effect with my body where it started to break down, my movement that I love to be able to do is go into the gym and use some weights or do some power yoga or something like that. And my body was crashing if when I tried to do that. And so I was getting frustrated, and then it kept piling up. And I was like, I'm tired of having to be resilient. I'm tired of having that. Just is what kept coming up because what was my release was now breaking my body down. And sometimes we can get into those modes where we then attack ourselves or get frustrated with ourselves, and it just brings us down even further. And that was the point that I was at a week or two ago, on top of like the past month of just all the things started stacking, and it kind of hit a peak. And so when I had that conversation, and the word that came up was free, I was like, okay, what does it feel like to be free? And so yesterday, in looking at the vision board and journaling, well, what do I want my life to look like? What does freedom look like? And just allow yourself to play with that, and then also allow yourself to know what your body needs. Like, what form of movement does your body need? For me, it's very slow somatic movements. Even with the chiropractor, it's waking my nervous system back up because it was shut off from like my neck down. It was that kind of like tense and locked up. So for me, I couldn't do a hit workout or the normal workouts that I was doing. And instead of being frustrated, I started to use that as an inquiry. to be like, what can I do instead? So now I'm using a foam roller or stretching and trying to be still or doing sound meditations and like those slower movements. And it's just going through those cycles and really connecting with your body in a way of what do I need? Um, and shifting your identity because we get to choose what we are. You can choose if you want your name to change, or you can choose whatever you want that identity to be, what your word might be for you to be your North Star. And it's okay if it changes tomorrow too. It can change 5 times a day, but as long
Absolutely.
as you own that, it's the important part.
But this is the time.
Yeah.
This is the time. And it could be the gentle breath work and, needing complete stillness or just total rest. It could be going and doing a heavier workout, but embodying, this new energy, this new frequency that we're all creating together and holding for one another.
Mhm.
We're all doing that right now in this circle, is holding each other's intentions. And if we can hold each other's intentions in prayer, we are way more powerful as women coming together and really supporting one another through that process. I mean, Sam and I are all day, every day doing that. Kathleen is a dear friend of mine that I met here at the spa at Juniper where I'm working right now, and we've been really connecting and helping each other, right, Kathleen, to really move forward in these places in our life that we want, but we also, my intention, I found it is to really get, I got to put my glasses back on, to really get a full body yes into what is in the next, in this next journey of identity, and wanting a full body yes to that, not just settling, you know, um, really feeling it and being like, okay, yeah, that feels really good in my body. I feel really relaxed in my body, knowing that this is where I'm going.
Mhm.
It's a full body yes.
And
So,
that's an embodiment too, is like knowing that when it's coming from your head, it's
yes,
not the answer usually, or we're trying to
ever.
talk ourselves out of something. It's usually, I mean, we're both generators, me and Eugenia.
Yep.
So it's a gut feeling or a sacral feeling, or it could be a small intuitive hit or the emotional feeling within your body. But it's that's how you know that it's you're in the right direction, is feeling it within your body and not just trying to talk yourself into being logical about it, which I can do too.
Yeah. And I think too, I think I'm just going to give you a quick example. Yesterday I am working at Juniper Preserve in their spa. I'm moving out of that position. Thank God. You as my witness, Kathleen. And went to a yoga studio yesterday to maybe potentially do a side hustle and teach a class. Well, I went there and I sat with her and I was just listening to her and I thought, oh my God, like just the pay, even just the pay. I was like, I'm going backwards. Like I've been doing this for 25 years and I'm gonna go backwards? No. And having that full body yes and really honoring myself and not being afraid of, well, what if I don't have this? Or what if I need, the money doesn't come? It will come. It will come. And it's just going to be in a different capacity. So really understanding to be able to trust that is so important. And I think, Sam, why don't we do this? Let's open up the
Mm-hmm.
the chat for like everybody, like maybe for a minute, minute and a half, just kind of speak what's on your heart right now and then we'll each give everybody kind of a little time to connect.
Yeah.
And then we'll come back and just maybe end the circle. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's perfect. Chelsea, I saw you are a splenic projector, so that means that it is your intuition. So it's going to be very quiet whisper, just so you know. But yeah.
Yeah.
But
Sometimes it's
yes.
quiet and sometimes it's not.
Sometimes it's like hello. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I would love to do that and kind of just everybody too with the intention. We set our intentions in the beginning, but anything that, like Gina said, is on your heart. But what we can also hold for you too, we were talking about, holding each other in prayer and the intentions and everybody putting each other within in that high vibration, and holding those intentions for everybody too.
And I think too, really going into a very deep listening when somebody is speaking,
Mhm.
Mm,
really hearing them and holding space for that person in this very moment to speak what is on your heart.
mm,
Anybody want to go first?
I can. The thing that, I mean, honestly, Gina, when you said, I've been working on identity work, Gina and I did a session where identity really came up a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And then we recorded a podcast episode together, and it came up equally as strong there. When you saying, I know, like isn't it the Leo Lionsgate
Yeah.
A8, right? Right,
Mhm.
right, right.
Whatever you want
Uh,
to call it.
whatever you want to call it, I know
It's
about this.
happening.
It's happening. I know it's coming. And that call, which is a whisper, but it is definitely getting louder, just to go into stillness, which I have no reason that I can't. I've been traveling like wildfire every single week, and I'm home this weekend, next week. And I've felt such a strong call to re-anchor myself just in all of my daily rituals that kind of get all
Mhm.
over the place when you're here, there, and everywhere, and in every time zone. And when you said, we're at the cusp of a new identity, you can release the old and embrace the new, or you can bring that shit with you. I thought, oh my gosh, we are not doing that. We're not circling this another year. Not that I feel like I should have let it go a year ago, but thinking, oh no. So if I'm just being called to, anchor in and get really still and use the goodness of a wide open calendar in the summer, because when you do appointments with people for a living, this is your a little bit slower time, and I usually love that and embrace it. And I don't know, it just makes me want to go to my calendar and block everything out that's not already blocked, and just relish in that between now and that and the 8th. So, and I think there's something in that. And when Gina said, you said the power of your mother's maiden name, I've always kept my maiden name because I feel so anchored to it. And so that really spoke to me as well. But yeah, I think
Did you keep your mother's maiden name or your father, or
my
is it your
father's,
father's?
yeah, I
Yeah,
kept my
and
maiden name.
I was Gaffney, and
Hmm.
my mother is Menino.
Hmm. It mattered. My dad's family, we are so Dutch. And
Yeah.
it matters to us that we are so Dutch. Where I'm from, we have a freaking festival every year about it.
Oh my God. If my husband, do not put this on
Mhm.
Instagram, that part that I said Menino, because he's Dutch.
Oh yeah, don't play.
No,
So
don't.
funny. Like we take that really seriously. That is not funny. We take it so serious. Ooh,
Yes.
we take
Yes.
it so seriously.
The
Uh,
loyalty, the loyalty.
it's thick. It's
Yeah.
it's it's deep. If you're not Dutch, you're not much. And
Yep.
we take that very seriously. Yeah. Yeah.
I
We
love it.
literally, like, we have, like, schools are named like the Fighting Dutch, like the
Yeah.
Mike, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just feel after this, like, wow, okay. I know what I don't know a lot, but I know enough to say yes. And I was also given the book, The Surrender Experiment,
Mhm.
last week. So I'm like, oh my God. Okay, fine. I surrender to the surrender. All right. Yeah, I'm really
Beautiful.
excited.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
I'll go. I've been taking notes. Um, because so much of what you've said, everything from not wanting to be resilient anymore, like done with resilience, to claiming a name. I kept my maiden name, but I got rid of my middle name. And my middle name
Mm.
was Helene for Helen of Troy. And I
Mm.
am, when you said that, I was like, that, and you can't bring the old shit with you for this year. I thought, oh no, because I keep getting hit with, essentially attacks that throws me into hurt and fearful.
I have
And
chills.
I can't do that. I have to for that little girl, that Palace Helene Hupe little girl. Like I need to be more grounded and believe in myself more and believe in my truth and that justice will be served and that I will help make it happen. Like I cannot go into fearful and hurt. Um I did not choose to battle, but I have no choice right now. So instead of just enduring or being resilient, I need to be strong and purposeful and um, yeah, full of that belief in my truth and my justice and that and I will see it through. So,
Mhm.
I have the chills, just
Yeah.
chills. And I need one more word for you.
okay.
Endurance.
Yeah.
Endurance.
Well, there's a great Flannery O'Connor quote, a Savannah writer. We have to cherish the world, and I'm getting it not exact, but at the same time that we endure it.
That's
And
right.
I do cherish it. As Samantha was saying, we can look at things as a problem or we can look at it through a different lens, and I cherish, but I also have to endure.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And we can have peace during these times.
Mhm.
Yes.
Remember that, like behind this battle, whatever we're dealing with, right? We can have peace.
Yes.
And we do that together.
Mhm.
Yes. So thank you, all of you, for all of your wisdom and insight.
Yeah. How about you, Kathleen? How are you feeling? You're on. Yeah, there you
Oh,
go.
there you go. I'm just taking this all in. I mean, what a great, really, really strong group of women, and sounds like we all have some similar, there's stuff going on all the time. Yeah, no, I love the freedom thing. I'm always going up like the moon. I think the moon's full tonight, right?
Yep.
Yes.
I was outside last night with the dogs, and I'm just like, I just needed to go walk out in the field and be alone. And I looked at the moon. I'm just like, freedom, freedom, take me, guide me. I just want to make sure, and I need to let go and let things happen. You always have this preconceived notion how things are supposed to work when they usually don't work out that way. So it's like you just have to let go. And just that word freedom, I'm so attracted to more than ever. I really, really am craving to be free and just experiences and experience life and not get caught up in the negative and just letting myself be who I was meant to be finally and come out
Ah,
and yeah, and own my power too. And like I said, just to let my voice, not make myself small. So,
yes.
so
Yes.
yeah, it's all so good. Thank you so much. I feel grateful that I got to join. And my phone keeps saying my battery's dying, so I'm trying to hold it in a certain way. For some reason, it's not charging. And I'm wondering because my phone's so hot,
It could
I'm
be.
afraid it's overheating all
Yeah.
this
And then it
energy.
probably can't charge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank
Oh
you
my God.
anyway. Thank you.
You're welcome. Ah, so good. Yeah. Sam, anything from you or how you feeling?
No, I think that this was amazing. And this is why we wanted to do this, was to have these conversations so that we can hold each other's intentions. Because as
That's
Gina
right.
said a couple of times, we are so much more powerful when we come together. And we also can recognize that we're not the only ones that are feeling tired or needing stillness or needing to put down the resilience and just be real and held in the circle. Um, and I think too, it's come up a couple of times tonight, but just the art of surrendering, where as a Capricorn, I tend to try and think that I have to do something in order to surrender, but it's usually the opposite of stopping for a second and finding the stillness in order to put it down. And, instead of planting the seed and then digging it back up to see what I need to do in order to make it grow, just kind of leaving it and letting it, turning it over to God and just saying, okay, cool. I know that I've planted that seed and I'm gonna let it do its thing now, and I can come back to it when I need to, but I'm going to focus over here and that's not going to be in the driver's seat anymore. So just kind of shifting that perspective and holding that for the next 30 days, which is perfect timing for us to launch this series. Like we said, we're going to be doing it once a month. So we'll check in with each other in another month, and hopefully see where our seeds have grown and where our desires are coming into light and check back in with one another.
Yeah, beautiful. So beautiful. You come back to the seed and water it when you need to, right?
Yep. But overtending is just gonna kill it.
Exactly. Don't want to overwater that seed.
Yep.
Oh, that's so great. Anything else? Come back. Come back and do this with us again. And I know Sam will be sending out an email, and we're just so grateful that you guys are all here, and we're holding all of your intentions with so much unconditional love and beauty and grace. And thank you.
Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you all for coming.
should we take a breath? Let's take a breath and then end. All right. Bring your hands to your heart. And just move the body a little bit, just maybe those shoulders just sort of anchoring in, what we just all of this power that we just created together, this beautiful power. And take a nice long deep breath in. Inhale. Exhale. And then just roll the neck just a little bit. And come back to center. Inhale and exhale. Go ahead and open your eyes. All right. Thanks, ladies.
Thank you
Thank
so much.
you.
All
Thank
right. Bye. Have a good
Bye.
one.
Yeah.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Mhm.